meet me at the corner of Russell and Albina, just about a block from Mississippi Avenue. I'll take you to a house where they hang carpets on the wall, and if we go there on a Sunday, there's a song I'll take you through.
Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to Open Mic America. It is so good for everybody who here is tuned in on the live stream. Hello there, YouTube, and hello to all of our performers. It is so good to see you all, and I'm very excited to be hosting the Open Mic America show tonight. My name is Laura Petralin-Bobordowitz. We have our interviewer tonight, Daphne Ramil, and our engineer, which is also our founder, Capo Dave Williams, because this is Open Mic America. And if you're not familiar with us, we are an online open mic that was founded to support your local open mics, to give that ability for everyone to hear the music. We're going to support without gimmicks or frills. This right here is the beating heart of American music, the tapestry of story and song that has been weaving us together for generations. But without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce all of our performers tonight. So please go ahead and wave your hand when I introduce you. We have Betsy Rose from Berkeley, California. Cowboy Bob Uvello from Boston, Massachusetts. Kyla Tilley from Newfoundland. Stuart Campbell from Vancouver, Washington. Margery Winter from Ashland, Oregon. Brian Cassidy from Southborough, Massachusetts. The Elder Singer, aka Steve Anderson, from Alameda, California. And John Gary from Stowe, Ohio. And I think it's just about time that we go ahead and get the show started. We have a bunch of different states and 2 different countries represented tonight. But first on the roster is our very own Betsy Rose from Berkeley, California. So Betsy, go ahead and take it away. Oh, you're muted, Betsy.
There you go. Okay. Whew, that came up fast. I thought there were going to be more opening chats. Hi, everybody. This is a delight to be here. I just discovered this program recently, and I got my start at open mics. We were just talking about the Nameless Coffee House in Boston, Cambridge, Massachusetts, where I started out. So without further ado, since I don't know a lot of you and you probably don't know me, I thought I would do a kind of a little autobiographical song here. It's called Midnight Stallion. When I was a girl living out on the plain, I'd slip out at night, 'cause the boy, here we go. Slip out at night, 'cause the wind was calling my name. Just a little girl under a starlit sky, in a great big world stretching out on every side. And I wanted to go, oh, I wanted to ride on a midnight stallion across the sky. Just a one-street town and a one-room school, one white church where my daddy preached the golden rule. No one went far, girls married young, boys worked on cars, carried a gun. And I wanted to scream, and I wanted to cry. Every dream I got gonna wither on this vine. Ooh, 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 ooh. Down in the basement, found an old guitar, and I took my fingers, took my voice, and it took my heart. It had songs of maidens who stole their lovers' gold, songs of hobos rolling on down the road. wanted to laugh, and I wanted to roar. Some kind of power I never felt before. Just like that hobo in the good old song. I'm on the road to somewhere, got my traveling shoes on. Just a teenage girl under a starry sky, with a big, great big dream stretching out on every side. And I'm starting to sing what I'm wanting to hear. Got the wind and the North Star, got nothing to fear. From a one-street town to the city lights on a midnight stallion, across the sky. Yeah. Woo. That's kind of a new song. I fumbled around a bit there. It's a new song. I'm doing a lot of writing lately, so thank heavens. So yeah, thanks so much. Well, that wandering spirit has taken me many places. I started out, oh my goodness, it don't matter where I started out. Ended up in California. But one of the places it took me, and that was just about 6 years ago when I was turning 65, I got the bug. I got a call, and I launched out on a 8-month international trip with me and my guitar in a backpack, mostly through Asia and Africa. I got a fellowship to do this. My thing was I wanted to meet with women and children, but I wanted to sing with children, but I wanted to meet with women because I was really interested in the power that I saw women exerting in global South countries, that they had much less of the obvious privileges than us. And I just really wanted to find out how they did it and what they were made of. And I found out a lot. But I'd spent time with women, especially in Africa and in Kenya, who, because of poverty and lack of education, which is rather typical of girls and poor girls, ended up doing sex work as the only way they could make a living. And that made a big impression on me. And then I came back in 2016, and before long, the Me Too movement took off. So those two threads came together in this song. It's called One Day You'll Know. Oh, I got to get the lyrics up here. Here we go. Yeah. You see me at the market stall, my baby's around my feet. Your pennies for a bag of fruit, that's one more day we'll eat. You see me at the brothel, 200 shillings, make it short. You see me with your judging eyes, you never see my worth. Do you know I have dreams? Do you know I have wings? One day you'll know. You see me at the office, you joke and touch and tease. You promise that promotion for a little late night squeeze. But how little is a little? Why should I weigh the cost? How can a woman measure what she'll gain and what she's lost? Do you know I have dreams? Do you know I have wings? One day you'll know. scrubbing toilets, changing dirty sheets, hustling your ham and eggs, or hustling the streets, or standing at the water cooler, laughing with the rest, swallowing that burning coal of anger in my chest. Do you know what we'd say if we knew we were safe? Do you know what it's cost? Do you know what we've lost? Do you know we have dreams? Do you know we have wings? One day you'll know.
Lovely.
Oh, wow.
That was
Thanks,
so
everyone.
moving. I wasn't prepared to start tearing up this early in the show. That's not fair.
I'm famous for that. People used to say, Betsy, we have to bring Kleenex to your concerts.
That's so good.
Oh, thank you.
Wow, Betsy. I mean, there's so much here. I bet we could just talk to you all evening. But we can't.
But we
So, let me first say how much I loved your songs, that they were very beautiful and they have such depth, and the way you sing it is so true and convincing. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Rose.
And I was noticing that even though the songs were very different, in a way, they had the same core, and you're just spinning it around that core of you need to escape. It's not fair. It's, and yet you have hope. The idea of flying, Midnight Stallion, flying into the night, and the other song, you had wings.
I hadn't thought of that. I hadn't thought of that connection.
Seems like such a common thread, but you are examining that whole idea in many different ways. And that was so beautiful.
I really appreciate that. It's a beautiful reflection. I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah. And now Midnight Stallion, you said it's a new song, but it sounds like an old truth
Yeah.
to me. And is it autobiographical? Did you escape that town? Did you sing?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, you're in Berkeley, but where was the first place you went?
The first place was, Rock Springs, Wyoming was the first verse. Rock Springs, Wyoming, where my dad was the minister of this. It wasn't quite a one-street town. But the second verse about a one-street town and the girls married young and the boys, that was the other very rural community we lived in Western Massachusetts, small town. And, some friends, I started writing when I was about 12, and I wrote all through high school. It was my therapy, because we didn't have therapy for young people back then. And some people who loved what I did recorded it and sent it to some people in New York who decided they wanted to make me the next Janice Ian. It was a complete boondoggle. It was a horrible experience. But that was the teenage girl heading for the city lights. And a lot happened, but I survived.
Sounds like an adventure, but tell us all more about your adventure in Africa and Asia. How did that work? How did you get sent, and what did you learn?
Who knows? I mean, I look back and I say, whoever did that, it's not me. It sounds so huge when I say it, but as I said, I really felt called. I was really frustrated with the political things going on in our country, and I was impatient with my own and in general women's, I wanted us to be like the women in Chile, and in the south of the border, who get out with pots and pans and do work stoppages and make a ruckus. And I'm like, and then there's these women in Liberia that I visited who literally stopped a civil war back in the 90s. It was the 90s.
Oh.
Like Charles Taylor, the dictator, and warlords, and it was vicious, it was ugly, it was as terrible as what we're seeing right now in Israel and Gaza, just a bloody thing that went on, and the women of the country got together and said, we got to do something about this, and they started a nonviolent women's protest, and I stayed with women who literally, they all had white, they all wore white. When the child soldiers would come into their village to do whatever, they would surround them. They would walk out unarmed, surround them, and sing songs to them that were like tribal, the songs of their youth. And they would reach into their boy hearts, and they would say, your mothers don't want you to be doing this. Your mothers want you to come home. We are your mothers. We are telling you, go home.
Oh my gosh.
And it was incredible. It was incredible what these women did. So that was what I was looking for, is that kind of, just being brave and motherly, grandmotherly, the whole thing of 1,000 grandmothers. There's a wonderful group of organization, national organization of 1,000 grandmothers who are out in the streets and protecting young protesters. And so anyway, that's what I was about on that big trip.
Understood. That's so beautiful. Did you sing? Did you have?
Yes, that was my calling card. Yeah, we would sing together. I wrote songs that we would sing together. They sang for me. It was so magical. I just can't even believe I did it, And I now have lasting friends from especially Kenya, very close touch with a woman who gave birth while I was there. She was singing with us, and she gave birth and named her baby Betsy, and it was like, oh boy, I think I'm in. I don't know how to walk away from this. So I'm in touch with some people. Yeah, it was extremely growthful for me. Yeah.
Well, I'm waiting for your book to come out, because then I would read it. Or something like your movie or something like that. But before I let you go, what are you doing now?
Well, and I have to say there's a YouTube channel, Betsy Rose Music, and there is a playlist called International Pilgrimage, and you can see my movie there. I mean, there's numerous videos, so you can get a little glimpse. What I'm doing now, I took a break and I became a doula for a few years. I just was called to, I just do what I'm called to do, right? So I became a birth doula. And then for various reasons, COVID kind of put an end to that, and I've come back to music again. What I'm doing now is writing a lot of songs inspired by the particular time we're living in, the climate collapse, the planetary crisis. I've always been a political singer, and I'm really wanting to try to frame ways that we can all hold this in a healthy way, in a sustainable way, not turning away in denial, not urgently driving ourselves crazy trying to be active. Something that's really sustainable and responsive. And I'm doing house concerts, just sort of trying out these new songs because they're very new, and the way I'm thinking about things is new even to me, so I'm kind of getting feedback, and it's really exciting. I'm very excited. And if you get on my mailing list from my website, you can find out when I'm doing my next concert. And it's
okay, folks, did you hear that? Betsy Rose's website is listed on the YouTube video, so go to the website and get on her mailing list. Thank you so much for opening our show. It was wonderful, and I'm going to go back to Laura, who will move us along.
I don't want to move along because it's so much fun, but I feel that way about every singer that performs on this show because it's just so much fun. So we're going to go ahead and go on to our next performer who I've seen before, and I'm really excited to hear him again. It's Cowboy Bob Uvello from Boston, Massachusetts. And he would like to shout out the South Shore Folk Music Club in Duxbury, Massachusetts as a local open mic. So if you're around there, check that out, but not until we hear Bob's songs.
All right, the song is called Behind Black Hills. And, well, I guess it's kind of a rodeo song, so here goes. Sun going down behind those black hills. Sky's on fire, got some time to kill. Morning light is still 500 miles down this road. One more time, one more ride. I will ride. It's a new town tomorrow, new girl tonight. Maybe she'll love me, just don't seem right. I live for the evening, gone with the morning light. Out the windows roll down, the air's cool and clean. Moonlight on snowfall, got some time to dream. I left no one behind, waiting by the phone for my call. Tonight I drive, tomorrow I ride. I will ride. It's a new town tomorrow, new girl tonight. Maybe she'll love me, just don't seem right. I'm here for the evening, gone with the morning light. On the Calgary Stampede, found old Cheyenne. Sunlight on the mountains, just might be some plan. In my soul, it's in my blood, give my all, done the best I can. 6 times in big money, 600 in the mud, in the mud. It's a new town tomorrow, new girl tonight. Maybe she'll love me, just don't seem right. I'm here for the evening, gone with the morning light. Sun going down behind those black hills. The sky is on fire, got some time to kill. Morning light is still 500 miles down this road. One more time, one more ride. I will ride. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and Black Hills.
I was grooving to that one.
Well, this next song I'm going to do for you is the probably the most unusual song that I sort of wrote. I'll explain. Now, over the years, and I have a feeling that probably a lot of songwriters have had this same experience, in dreams, I've dreamt a song. There's been a song in the dream, and in that dream, as I'm listening to the song, I'm thinking to myself, well, this is simply the best song that's ever been written by anybody, and all I have to do is wake up in the morning and write it down. And of course, wake up in the morning and there's nothing. Not a word, not a line of the melody, not even the rhythm. There's absolutely nothing. It's just gone, and well, that's the way it goes. Well, this one time, I don't know, it's about a year ago now. This one time I was having a dream, and there was a song in the dream. I woke up, and by good fortune, I had a pad of paper and a pen next to the bed, and I started writing furiously. I just wrote any line that I could think of. Didn't matter the order. I just wrote down lines, and by the time I was finished, I had 9 lines of lyric, and I had the melody pretty solidly in my head, and the rhythm and the tempo and the whole thing. And so I spent some time and I crafted a song around those 9 lines. It's called Louisiana. And I can say with no doubt it's not a song that I ever would have written. So it came from somewhere. I'll take you down to Louisiana, past the smokestacks of the refineries of what they call black gold. That stand like the bones of some creature from the long ago, still burning a ghostly red glow, paints the black of the night sky. I'll take you down to Louisiana, to the bayou where I'll buy you a ring, so bright and so cold, made out of zinc and white gold. Have coffee and beignet, we'll have crawfish etouffee, and we'll watch the rolling big muddy. Oh, but it don't wash us away. It's rain.
You.
Thank you. Thanks. Thank you.
Why, thank you, Cowboy Bob. I think you've been on this show before, but I never got to talk to you. So now's my lucky day. Wow, you couldn't have brought two songs that were more different. You're absolutely right. And I love them both. They both have a strength to them. But the second one does have a dream quality to the music and the words also. I know you talked about having had it was written from the dream, but the song itself has a dream quality to it, and that was apparent, and it was just so mesmerizing.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Is that recent or is that
Early, yeah. Actually, that appears on my most recent album, which is
oh,
called
show us.
Blue Streak.
It's called Blue Streak.
Blue
Okay,
Streak.
folks, go out and look for
Yep.
Blue Streak.
And yeah, it's all over the usual places, YouTube and the streaming channels and that such. You know, the song, the thing that thrills me the most is when I was hearing the song, there was also a saxophone. And so for the recording, I found a saxophonist who did a track on it. So I was really thrilled about that.
Oh, now I'm really curious. So tell me, you're from Boston, right now you're in Boston, right? But do you have a connection to Louisiana, or is that just in the song?
Not Louisiana. I guess the place that I have the most connection to is Montana. And I've spent a lot of time there and actually worked on a ranch for a while there. And so been to New Orleans and I love it, but no, like I said, that was I forgot on the album I meant to give a co-write to my subconscious.
Or to your previous life or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, maybe you're reincarnated. So let's go back, because also in the beginning of our session, you were having a discussion with, I think it was Betsy Rose, about an open mic that you haven't been to in decades. So how about, let me ask you, if you know, clearly you've been doing music for a very long time, and what would you tell your younger self about this endeavor that you know now that you maybe didn't know then?
Boy. Um, folks who know me will be very surprised to hear that I'm at a loss for words.
Oh, I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No,
You just seem like
I
someone
just
who would have a lot to offer in that
yeah,
direction.
I don't know. I guess the one thing that, and it would just have to be a question. And by the way, I do remember Betsy Rose. Her name all of a sudden just popped, and I said, "Of course, Betsy Rose." So we did cross paths, absolutely, and she's wonderful. But anyway, yeah, I guess the big thing was I did music full time for 15 years. Ended up in Sweden, did an album there, and then it was tough times for, quote, folk music or anything like that, and gigs were getting hard to come by, and so I took off on another tangent and actually decided to make some money. And then I went back I've been back in music now for about eight or 9 years, and I guess I just wonder, had I just stayed with the music, what might have happened. And so I guess I would pose a question to my younger self.
Maybe that'll come up in a dream, the answer, and then you could write about it,
Could
right?
be, could be.
Wow. So you say that you've been, you were touring. Was that all with original music that you were playing?
Mostly,
Mhm.
mostly. Well, not in the early years. I wasn't terribly prolific. In this past 9 years since getting back to it, I've been really prolific. can't explain it. The songs have just been coming. Maybe more to write about now at this point in life, perhaps. And but yeah, I was doing a lot of original material. Started off playing blues because you could get away with 3 chords, and there was the same 3 chords that everybody was using. And so I started with blues, and then kind of left that behind. And actually, a musician friend of mine actually named my genre of music, and I think he nailed it. It's existential cowboy noir. And I think that explains it. I mean, you hear that and you know.
That also ties into what I wanted to tell you last before I let you go, is that I love the visual. It's very mysterious, but yet kind of warm and inviting, and it fits in with that genre that you just mentioned.
Okay.
So wait, one more thing. Is there something you want to tell everybody about a project you're working on now, or
Well, I guess since we mentioned the South Shore Folk Music Club, I have a performance there coming up in February. So anybody who's local, they might look for that, and I'd love to see you there.
Great. Thank you so much, and
Thank
hope
you.
to see you again.
You will. Thank you very much.
Back to you, Laura.
Yes, thank you, Cowboy Bob. Man, we're having a hit after hit tonight with our performers, and I know it's going to keep going. But we're actually going to go to a new country now, because we have our next performer is Kyla. It's Kyla Tilley from Newfoundland in Canada, and we want to let everybody know that Kyla will be hosting the Hambone Open Mic, which is online on February 6th. But if you're looking for an in-person open mic that's up in the Canada area, you can check out St. Luke's Open Mic Jubilee Performers. That's in Port de Grave, Newfoundland. But Kyla, we're here to hear you tonight, so go ahead and take it away.
Hello. And I just take it away, don't I? All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Kyla Tilley. I'm a singer-songwriter. I live in Newfoundland and Labrador on the far east coast of Canada. And I think this is an appropriate New Year's song. It's sort of about letting go of whatever has come before and going after new adventures. Running through the undergrowth, popping up to get a peek if the coast is clear enough to get away. Get away from all your thoughts, get up from the winter wrap, let the butterflies come out and flutter around. Bloom and grow, child, bloom and grow. Reach for the mountains, don't brace for the fall. Window opened up for spring, moldy where the damp got in, where the paint is chipped away, clean it off. Let the fresh air enter and let it rush through all your things, gather up the dust and make it blow away. Bloom and grow, child, bloom and grow. Reach for the mountains, don't brace for the fall. Time enough for caution when the day is done. When you reach the ground, chances are you'll bounce. Then you'll be stronger and you'll be wiser too. You'll still be foolish, but you won't mind so much. Mind so much. Summer's rays are creeping in, searchlight in the living room, pouring light on all the things you hide away. Memories folded in a drawer, thoughts you bundled up and stored, locked away, forgot till they came back around. Bloom and grow, child, bloom and grow. Embrace the moment, don't dwell on the fall. Leave the reflection till the day is done. the ground, chances are you'll bounce. Bloom and grow, bloom and grow, bloom and grow. Bloom and grow. Bloom and grow. All right, there is Bloom and Grow.
Wow. Very cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And I'm gonna sing. So this next song I'm gonna do. I like to work. I do a lot of songwriting with songwriting prompts. I discovered the existence of prompts a couple of years ago, and I really like them. Anyway, I had one that was a list of words, and the words were clearly about skateboarding. But I don't know anything about skateboarding. But I live on an island in the North Atlantic, so I know all about skate, the fish. And so this is sort of a commentary on toxic masculinity as seen through the eyes of a fish. I crawled out of my mermaid's purse in these very same grounds some time ago, and I return year after year to keep the cycle rolling. And every year it is the same old conventions holding. The ocean is a wild frontier where strength holds highest value. But there is more to life than that. Give me a mate who rides the riptide, doing mad tricks on the ocean waves, undulating. Give me a gentle, graceful, free-sailing skate punk. Familiar faces come and go, flashing their credentials. Who survived another year and who's the most insufferable? Posturing on full display, beaten muscles flexing, studs rally, duke it out to prove who's master of the nursery. And I could not care less who wins. Give me a mate who rides the riptide, doing mad tricks on the ocean waves, undulating. Give me a gentle, graceful, free-sailing skate punk. Someone who lives on the edge and sees the beauty and not the danger. Someone who lives to the full and does not worry about what's expected. Give me a mate who rides the riptide, doing mad tricks on the ocean waves, undulating. Give me a gentle, graceful, free-sailing skate punk. Give me a gentle, graceful, free-sailing skate punk. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that last one. That's fun.
Thank you.
Wow, Kyla, it's really good to have you on this show and to get to talk to you.
Thank you.
I had a really funny thought as you were singing. I mean, your style is just so original. And it's so much fun, and it's so different from so many things that we hear. I was just wondering, is it because you live on a little island and you're not contaminated with all the other
No,
things?
I'm
kind of like a
contaminated with all
species?
the other things. That's why. I listen to such a big variety of stuff. It all gets in there.
No, I'm sure you do. I was just thinking about as a species that evolves all by
It is.
itself.
Oh yeah,
you
no,
know?
yeah. We're like the weird things in Australia. Absolutely. Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Wow, that was so, I mean, it's not like everything you sang about was funny, but it was fun to listen to you and the way you use that frantic kind of feel in your song and then juxtapose it with something a little more calm and flowy in the same song to like change it. That was just so cool.
Thank you.
Great
Thank you.
guitar work also. That was a classical guitar you play.
Yeah,
Is that,
yeah.
do you only play classical guitar or do you switch out sometimes?
I play, well, when I'm playing folk, I mostly play classical. I also play progressive death metal, so I play an electric guitar for that.
Oh.
But yeah, mostly it's my classical guitar. I don't really like the steel string. I like electric guitars and classical guitars because they're very slippy and fluid. And
Uh-huh.
I find the steel string ones are a little bit clunkier. I got a 12-string guitar recently, so I've written a couple songs on that and I like it. But yeah, I started out on classical guitar as a kid, so it's always been my main. It is like we are one. So
Yeah, you are one. It was great. It was great. So have you been writing for a long time?
yeah, yes, I've been writing for a
So
long time.
like what was the first song you wrote? When was
Um,
that? How did that
like
happen?
Yeah, I don't really quite remember. Like, I sort of have a vague memory. Like, I have a vague memory of making the realization that one could play chords and sing over them.
Mhm.
And then I have a vague memory of just being like, oh, I suppose I could write stuff over the chords. And like, I think one of the first songs I ever wrote was like, it was I guess triggered by something I overheard like someone say to a friend of mine, and it was just like, oh, that's a pretty good line, like that could be the start of a song. And like that's,
Mhm.
I couldn't play that song anymore, but that was, I think, what I kind of remember. But then when I was in my early 20s, like 19, 20, that age, I lived in St. John's, Newfoundland, which is like filthy with singer-songwriters. So it was just like there's just such a vibrant singer-songwriter scene that it was just kind of like, it was like, oh yeah, like, of course we're going to write songs. That's what we're going to do. And
That's what you do over there.
yeah.
Yeah. And did
So,
you perform at open mics to start with?
yeah, I performed at open mics quite a lot actually. And over the years, like there'll been periods of time where it's like, okay, I haven't been to many in a while. And sort of, I think sort of shortly before the pandemic, I'd started being like, okay, there's got to, I'd been living in Montreal, and it was
Mhm.
like, okay, there's got to be some open mics around. And I'd sort of started looking for some to go, and there was a couple that I was going to, and then of course everything closed down, and I found online open mics. So I've been I've been a pretty staunch online open mic person.
So, in your opinion, or according to how you feel or you think, what's the value of this of open mic?
Open
I
mics,
mean, are they
just
important?
like the absolute freedom, like you are so free at an open mic. Like you can just get up and you can try anything out, and people, like, you can be like, I just wrote this song and I don't really know it yet, but I just want to give it a try. And people are really like encouraging of that, and you can get up and you can be a professional performer, and people are happy to hear that. You can, I just learned this song, and it could go terribly, and like everyone's fine with that, and it's just kind of a free place that everyone is welcome. I really think.
Mhm.
And like we have an open mic here in my neck of the woods where like there's a band, like, and if you want, the band will join you on stage. And like, if you don't want, then that's fine too. But it's just kind of it's kind of fun because it's like if you're going for your very first time and you've got a 3-chord song, you can just be like, well, I'm gonna play this song, and the band will back you up.
Oh,
which is
wow.
fun.
And you say you play in a band too. Do you play now in the death metal band?
Yeah, although we're not nearly as that. Like I'm really active with the folk stuff, but yes, me and
Mhm.
my husband have a death metal project together. So.
Just for the record, I want to tell everybody in YouTube land that we heard her husband practicing earlier. He had to practice, and we had to wait for him
Yeah.
to finish practicing before we could do a sound check for Open Mic
If you want to
America.
play like that, you can't miss your practices.
And I admire how serious he is about his craft. So you can pass that on.
Will do.
Is there anything you're working on right now that you want to tell us about?
Sure. This week coming up, actually, I'm taking part, speaking of songwriting, I'm taking part in a 5-song and 5-day songwriting challenge. And I stream live on Twitch. So I write songs, I sing songs. Sometimes I play video games. But so this week I'm streaming Monday to Friday, 3 hours a day with a different song prompt each day. And I will do my very best to actually finish a song on my stream. But that's twitch.tv. So I'm Kyla Tilley on every single platform.
You go find Kyla. You can find her anywhere, even though she's in a little tiny island.
I'm in the middle of nowhere and I am everywhere.
That's great. We're glad we can help you be everywhere, and we're glad you came to us. Thank you, Kyla.
I'm so pleased to be here. This has been wonderful so far.
It has. You take good care, and I'll pass the show on to Laura.
Thank you, Daphne. And thank you, Kyla. Those were some fantastic songs. And we're going to keep going with some more amazing performances. Next up, we have Stuart Campbell from Vancouver, Washington. And he is actually going to be doing a gig at the Artichoke Music in Portland on February 8th. There are going to be 4 people playing there with 4 different styles, so it should be a lot of fun. But Stuart, what do you have for us tonight?
Well, thank you. Well, come on out to Artichoke Music. It's a wonderful music store and venue in downtown Portland. It's kind of one of those things that seeds the community of music, keeps it alive. I love it. This song goes out to anyone dealing with dementia, Alzheimer's, memory loss. It's called Fading Away. I wish that I'd come by more often. I wish that I had brought the dog along. I wish that I had played my newest song for you, but it's too late now. You're gone. I thought that you could understand the things I said. I thought that we were having a conversation. I thought somehow that we were friends, but that's not how it turned out. In the end, you were gone. I asked you where you were, you couldn't tell me. I asked about the roses outside your window. I asked if you had dreams you wanted to share with me. You said I do, but I can't remember them. Fading away into the night. Fading away, fading away, fading away. Memories are missed tonight, little fireflies in distant flight, fading away. Well, you were the kind of man who knew his mind sometimes. A gentle soul, at least you were to me. You sought the dream, you had no choice, in spite of what you threw into the void. You asked me where your car was parked. Once again, From your wheelchair window, memories collide. I told you that you sold it to the woman that used to work for you. Then she robbed you blind. Fading away into the night. Fading away, fading away, fading away. Pictures come and then they go like paintings left out in the snow. Fading away. Now that you are gone, I will remember the time you took the train all the way to Lansing. Told me about the book that you were reading. It made you smile. Then I put you on the Sunday train for the sailor's sea in a pouring rain. You left the book on the kitchen table for me. I do remember. I'll see you tomorrow. That's what I said. Yeah, you might be asleep there in that metal bed. The roses in the window, they're losing petals. I guess it's just that time of year. Fading away into the night. Fading away, fading away, fading away. Memories are like mist tonight, little fireflies in distant flight, fading away. I wish that I'd come by more often. Could have brought the dog along.
Wow, great song. Great song.
Oh my.
Thank you. Let's bring it up a notch. To Cowboy Bob's point, what if I had? What if I had, when I was young, done that thing? What if I had? What would my life be like? Who would I be with? You know, would I be Cowboy Bob? Would I be Stuart? I don't know. It's called, what's it called? It's called The Life I'm In. I wandered off the path that they all set for me. Sent in my last memo, told them what I really think. Changed my patent leathers for some walking shoes. Washed my face in cold water just to shake the blues. Said goodbye to Kathy, I'm gonna miss that friend. Cashed out all my savings, wasn't all that much back then. Told myself I wasn't run, just had to make a change. Took a taxi to the airport and dragged myself onto that plane. And when I think about those times, I think about home. And when I think about home, I think about leaving. When I think about leaving, I think about what might have been. I've had many lives worth living, but I like the one I'm in. She never said she loved me, just a crazy kind of need. Too young to know the difference, too blind by all that sex to see. She tied me up in little bows, my future in her palm. And I went out for a beer that night, and I just kept moving on. Well, I might have been a cowboy in my Tony Llama boots. I could be down in Taylor singing lonely Guaro blues. I might have been Michigan, eating pasties till I die. But all that I can say right now is it's good to be alive. When I think about those times, I think about home. And when I think about home, I think about leaving. When I think about leaving, I think about what might have been. I had many lives worth living, but I like the one I'm in. Well, now I'm getting older, my memories are frayed, but I'm telling you the truth. I could have left or could have stayed. We all make choices, and they send us down a road hard to believe, but I think I made it home. And when I think about those times, I think of home. And when I think about home, I think about leaving. And when I think about leaving, I think about what might have been. I've had many lives worth living, so many lives worth living, but I like the one I'm in.
Wow, Stuart. Those were both wonderful songs, full of things for all of us to think about for sure. And I like how you juxtaposed your songs against each other. And I like the fact that you decided to sing that you like the life you're in as the second song to leave us kind of on a more optimistic
You got it. I wouldn't leave you with that first one. No.
note. Although we all needed to hear the first one. And even though it was sad, I found it to be very tender and loving. And that was a beautiful
Thank you.
part of it.
Yeah.
So, you know, it wasn't all darkness. The tenderness and loving that you expressed in the song sort of, you know, made it soft and beautiful. So
Yeah. Thank you.
it's a topic that, you know, a lot of us confront with family and people close to us. And
Yeah, I thought it was universal. As I wrote it, I knew people would see their aunts and uncles and parents and cousins or whatever in that song, and that's what music does for me. It's the universal message that I like to sing about. I can sing about what I had for breakfast, but that doesn't do it. It's got to be more exciting.
so you sing in order to talk to people about things that are important to you.
Yep.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
And how does that work? Do you get something back? Do you know?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. You're good at this interviewing thing.
I'm just curious.
No, but yeah, it's both therapeutic and a gift-giving songwriting, in my view. You're giving back, giving something, but you're also learning in the process. And I first time I played that song, I couldn't play through it without crying, right? So there's growth there. I can now play it without tearing up and getting all emotional and going back to that particular time in my life. I've moved on. It's maybe calloused. I don't know if you want to say things get callous. It's not callous. It's more like acceptance of dementia as a part of life for many, many people. So I sing about it now, and it's a gift, and I give it to people. And the pain of it, the sadness of it for me has basically left it, which is good because you can't perform if you're sitting there crying all the time,
Right. So it served two purposes.
Yeah.
First of all, it helped you work through things.
Sure.
And then once you were able to do that, then you were able to give people the gift of them being able to
Right.
work through it.
Right. And there's a lot in there that didn't get spoken. I wish that I had come by more often. I mean, what does that say? I know what it meant to me. It meant I felt inadequate in caring for him. You know, the person who inspired the song. I didn't feel like I spent enough time there.
We never
We,
do.
we never do. And so there's another part of it that you could go off on, but that's just all I wanted to say. And that I felt better by saying that. I wish that I had spent more time with him. So that's really all it is. Talking about it, feeling it, getting it out, and moving on.
You were also helping to impart some wisdom, even if someone hasn't gone through an experience, you know, for them to think about it beforehand,
sure.
and maybe
Perhaps.
learn from you. And I like the way, you know, you say things clearly enough, but you use really beautiful poetry, and yet it's very realistic at the same time.
Thank
You
you.
know, you're not
Yeah.
just saying it, but you're not hinting a lot either. It's that perfect balance between
Yeah. Thank you.
poetic and getting that message across. That was very, very beautiful.
I think that's the same for artists of all kinds, right? Songwriters, visual artists. You don't want to come right. I mean, Picasso, you can't hardly tell what's there, but there's something there that people relate to. So it can be hidden under layers of music and instrumental, you know, or vocal magic. But if the message is too hidden, it's no good to me. You gotta make sure people understand what you're singing about. So
Right. So I can tell you worked on that balance, and
yeah.
to this listener, it was
you.
exactly perfect. Yeah, it was beautiful. So let's see. Are you writing a lot now? And
I just returned from the songwriter soiree retreat. It was a 4-day retreat on the coast, the Oregon coast. Beautiful. I didn't write a thing, but I got inspired. And as most of us songwriters know, that's a good step when you get inspired. Whether you're
what does
writing
that mean? You got inspired, but you didn't write a thing. I mean,
it'll come. It'll come at the right time. That's what I mean.
you mean
as
you
long
feel
as-
like you prepped it up and it's going to come out because of that
Yeah,
inspiration?
yeah. My eyes are open, so I'll see something. I'll see things differently. And those things will stimulate me to write another song. I'm also doing Matt Meehan's class, who is a regular on your show and on the staff. And Matt's workshops are just, you know, you have to write a song. In fact, next Wednesday I have to have one done. So that's really good for me to have that.
Well, did you go to this because you hadn't been writing, or because you just wanted an experience?
I went to that to meet other songwriters, to see their methodology, to get inspired by their songs, and know that there are others out there doing what I'm trying to do, and doing it very well. You get over your intimidation when you're around a whole bunch of people. They're better. There's some better than you, and some, you know, not as good as you, and you just get over your whole sense of self. When we arrived, the cool thing we did was rip up our cool card, literally. Rip it up. Rip up your cool card, because I spent years trying to write songs that made me look cool. I'm cool because I wrote that song over there. Well, no, that's gone now in my songwriting. I don't have to do that anymore. I am what I am, like Popeye might say.
Well, kind of like your song said.
I hope so. Yeah.
The second song.
Yeah.
And I forget what the name of it was,
Yeah.
but that
Yeah,
message was in that one too. Well, I think you're cool.
Oh, cool. Thank you. But I don't want to be cool.
Okay, then we're all just.
We're cool. We're both cool.
So, is there any particular project you're working on you want to talk about now that people should know about, or?
I just know that others are playing out a little bit, maybe touring a little bit, and trying to record. And I'm trying to record in-house, and it's a major project.
Yeah.
But fun.
Are you doing all the engineering yourself?
Yeah, I call it engineering. I call it whatever, tinkering.
That's really hard to be the performer and the engineer at the same time. Wow.
We'll see what comes out of it.
Is it a full-blown CD or just a couple songs, or?
I'm doing 10 songs I've got. So.
Well, I know the word CD now. I don't know what even that means.
I don't even know what it means. Yeah.
But a series of songs that you want to group together. When do you think you'll be done? Where are you in that?
I'll be done in 2022. I don't know, Dad.
I just know, where you are. Well, enjoy the process, Stuart.
That's it.
Yes.
Yeah. The road
Yes.
on.
Yeah.
Really wonderful that you're back with us. That was
you.
beautiful.
Thank
Thank you.
All right.
And Laura, take it away.
Thank you, Daphne. And thank you, Stuart. Oh, this has been a really good show so far. And believe it or not, we are already at the halfway point with our performers tonight. So as is traditional, a halfway point, this is your time to stretch. You take some time. We want to do a couple of mid-show announcements. First, we wanted to shout out Rick Page, who was going to be on the show tonight, but he had a bad case of the flu, so we hope that he gets better soon. And also, we hope that Mark Bishop Evans gets better soon because he has sadly broken his arm while getting off a stage in Australia. So that's going to be an awesome story in the future. But we hope you get better soon and you feel better, Mark. And now that's enough. No more stretching. Everybody back to your seats because we've got to get going again. And we are bringing Margery Winter on the stage from Ashland, Oregon. Margery, are you ready? Oh, you're still muted.
Okay.
There we go.
I hope I'm ready. Yeah.
Awesome. Take it away.
All right. Well, this is called Existential Horrors of Unrequited Love. It's maybe a blues song, the first blues song on mandolin. I don't know. Anyway. So, the sooner I get over you, the sooner I won't be so blue. Things will be just peachy then, and I'll find you were just a friend. The sooner I get over you, the sooner I won't be so blue. The sooner I get over you. I tried drinking a lot of wine, but I couldn't drive to work. I thought of burying myself alive, but I couldn't stand the thought of all that dirt. I tried reading self-help books. I even tried a guru, but I didn't want to do what the guru wanted to. And the cost of their venom made me nervous. Oh, the sooner I get over you, the sooner I won't be so blue. Things will be just peachy then, and I'll find you were just a friend. The sooner I get over you, the sooner I won't be so blue. The sooner I get over you. The sooner I get over you, the sooner I won't be so blue. Things will be just peachy then, and I'll find you were just a friend. Oh, the sooner I get over you, the sooner I won't be so blue. The sooner I get over you. Now, I thought of eating sleepy pills, but my stomach was already a wreck. I considered tying a satin silk cord quite close around my neck. I thought of turning on the gas, but it might make my hair a mess, which makes me suspect there's hope yet for me to get over you. The sooner I get over you, the sooner I won't be so blue. Things will be just peachy then, and I'll find you were just a friend. Oh, the sooner I get over you, the sooner I won't be so blue. The sooner I get over you. That's all, folks. Okay, Betsy Rose, she wrote about a horse and riding on a horse, and it does give you a sense of freedom. And I had a horse named Danny Boy. Very well couldn't call the song Danny Boy, so I call it My Horse Named Danny Boy. And you know, the thoughts that connect to it somehow. All right. I'll ride my horse named Danny Boy. His flying mane will wipe my tears. We'll watch the rushing of the waters. Fields of flowers take my fears. For years I worked at cubicles, trying at least to do some good. There's times I'd feel like pressing there, and paper, power, steel, and wood. And kindness sucks the fun of life and leaves it cut in half, like a dying lonely howl of a train that didn't stop, just passed. Time to stay in wisdom, but it also separates and tramples loved ones into memories, loved ones into memories. I'll try to use my hours left, try the best that I can do. Hope to love me to the end, oh honey, I love you. And if you have to leave me for me, I'll still try to hang on, but only if I'm still able to write and sing a song. I'll ride my horse named Danny Boy. His flying mane will wipe my tears. We'll watch the washing of the waters. Fields of flowers take my fears. When the time has come to leave, I hope it's fast and silent, to blend in the air from which we came and rest in fields of flaxen. I'll reach you there, I'm Danny Boy, though glide in forest fog, and trot until we disappear in crackling creeks of rocks and logs. I'll ride my horse named Danny Boy. His flying mane will wipe my tears. We'll watch the rushing of the waters. Fields of flowers take my fears.
That's fun.
Oh, so fun.
Thank you.
Wow, Marjorie, that was you. You are sure have good deadpan humor, I've got to say. Oh my goodness. That was a lot of fun to hear. Both The Sooner I Get Over You and even just the title, A Horse Named Danny Boy, just makes me kind of crack up.
Yeah. It's also a song about a soul that's no longer here, being the horse. Yeah. Yeah.
I know, but
Yeah.
the title itself makes you know that, you're a unique kind of a writer because nobody would, take that. Everyone knows what, Danny Boy, and when you put the horse in front of it, it makes you go, huh, what would that be about? Just
Well,
piques.
no one can sue me, I think. I think it's a traditional song, but I'm not sure anyway.
I don't know. I don't
It's
know.
such a familiar song. Wasn't going to call it Danny Boy.
No, of course not. Of course not. That was great. Now, do you always play perform with the mandolin? Is that your main
No,
in?
I also play the guitar.
So how do you decide what do you play for what?
Oh, I don't know. I played 3 hour long concerts outdoors last summer, and the first one I played guitar and then mandolin, and then the second one I just played guitar, and I thought, it's sometimes, it's a there's that transition, the strings are in different places, etc. So the third time I decided to play it all mandolin, and I kind of liked that because there wasn't that transition that you have to go through. Um, but so I converted some of the songs in guitar to mandolin. Um, I don't, I mean, like a lot of bluegrass or Irish music, they 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 play both to it. I mean, if it's a whole band or whatever. So I don't think there's really a criteria, though I thought I'd joke a little bit about the blues on mandolin.
Yeah. Well, it sounds very unique. You're just a little bit different. It has something unexpected that we don't always hear with the singer-songwriter. So that's very
Yeah,
effective. Yeah.
a guy once asked if I played any jazz on mandolin, and I don't, but I'm getting kind of interested in that. Um,
Oh.
well, yeah, but yeah, so yeah, jazz standards. I like to play those,
Mhm.
and lots of other music. So, I've thought, well, maybe we can play mandolin to some of the jazz standards.
Why not?
Yeah,
Actually,
Ari,
go ahead.
pardon?
No, you go
Oh,
ahead.
I was just watching a video on YouTube, song explosion or song exploding or something. A lot of it is kind of promo, but which is kind of unavoidable. But REM was talking about this hit song, the first hit song they did, which they decided to add mandolin. They'd been playing together for years, and the studio didn't want them to lead their album with the mandolin song, but they did, and it was a big hit. So rock music, mandolin. I've heard rock music with mandolin, and I like that too.
Yeah,
It's yeah, it's more with the more treble, it can stand out um, easier, I guess, in a band.
yeah, it doesn't wash things away. It's just it's noticeable. That's true.
Yeah.
So, you live in Ashland, and I know that's
Mhm.
known for a lot of theater. Is there also a lot of music? Do you perform a lot in Ashland?
No, I don't perform a lot. I
No?
mean, I perform, I practice every day. Um, with COVID, and I've kind of, I used to perform in a coffee house every once in a while, but
Mhm.
that's in another town with a 2-lane highway, and you always have to go back in the dark. And I thought, well, I maybe, like summertime, I like to perform more.
Mhm. Do you play all your own originals, or do you like to play other people's music also?
I like to play other people's music, but and I did, I played in Father's Day in one of those concerts,
Mhm.
uh, 2 songs, beautiful songs about fathers, and they were other people's songs. But then I thought, oh, well, some of the songs are actually about my dad too, but only peripherally. This one was, it was definitely, one was about a father actually singing about their newborn,
Oh,
Billy Joel, you know.
mhm,
It's a beautiful lullaby. It's in fact called Lullaby.
mhm.
But yeah, it's yeah, I like, and you can learn from other people easier if you play their songs, and you learn different chord progressions from it, and just different voicings and lyrics, and yeah, so yeah, you learn to appreciate other people's music by playing it and by listening. And I listen to classical, symphonic, and we go to a lot of concerts that are mostly symphonic, but we also go to some folk and bluegrass and you know, lots of other um, singing, you know, plus the Broadway singing. I like that too. And of
I
course,
can tell. I can tell. Yeah. So you are influenced by theatrical things a lot, right? Because in your
I guess in this one,
songs are kind of
yeah,
theatrical.
I
Yeah.
tried to ham it up in the first one because it's supposed to be a funny song.
Uh-huh.
Um, so yeah, yeah.
Hmm. And just quick, how did you get your start? Have you always played and sang or
Um, I played violin in grade school. Oops, it's my dog.
and
And the
someone's ringing
doorbell.
your doorbell?
Yeah. But the violin that I had was my aunt's. In by that time is over
Mhm.
100 years old, which can improve the wood, but especially if it's played a lot.
Mhm.
But um, those are friction pegs on the violin, and the pegs had shrunk, and so I didn't get far with with the violin, but I found that I just naturally took to the mandolin, which is tuned the same way in standard
Mhm.
tuning at least, and so so that helped even then. And then I started playing classical guitar, and but I like to sing too, and I also wrote poetry, so that's how I got into songwriting.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was so good to hear your songs, Marjorie.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you for them and for playing the mandolin for us. And
You're
we'll
welcome.
see you again.
Oh,
Laura, it's all yours.
Thank you, thank you, and thank you, Marjorie. Those are songs were just very fun, very fun. But I see that our next performer is ready to go, so I think we're going to go ahead and introduce Brian Cassidy from Southborough, Massachusetts. And he wants to shout out the TD's Pub at Milford, in Milford, Massachusetts. That's an open mic that happens on Wednesday nights from 7 to 10. And there's also the Eagles Club in Framingham, Massachusetts. That's on Thursdays from 7 to 10. So if you're in the Massachusetts area, you got a couple different options. But right now, Brian, stage is yours.
Thank you. Thank you. Very happy to be here again. I was here, I think, 3 months ago, 4 months ago, first time. The first time I was here, it was 3 days after heart surgery. So I feel a lot better now. So I'm going to play the first song. I wrote this song a number of years ago. It's called Lloyds of London. And it's really about the spirit of the human race and how we fall in love, but if things don't work out, we still, feel like it's gonna happen for us, and we don't give up. So that's kind of what the thought process was behind this song, and it's called Lloyds of London, and it goes like this. I met her in a salsa bar just south of Vina Del Mar. We hit it off right away. Sometimes life goes your way. She was different from the start. So many things that set her apart. A sweet, majestic smile and her own sense of style. I used to live alone before I knew you. Yeah, 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 yeah. Maybe it's just simple vanity or outright insanity. Makes us feel it's unlike the past. Yeah, this time it's gonna last. Ain't no Lloyd's of London with love. No divine intervention from above. You wanna find true romance, gotta play a game of risk and chance. Used to live alone before I knew you. Yeah, 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 yeah. I used to be alone before I knew you. Yeah, 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 yeah. I could feel my heart pounding. She came around a corner of Wingate Street, put together so complete. We stood together in the parking deck. She threw her arms around my neck. She said, I don't know what lies in store, but I never felt like this before. Used to live alone before I knew you. Yeah, 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 yeah. I used to be alone before I knew you. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Woo!
Thank you.
Dan.
Thank you. So yeah, that was a number of years ago. This is a new song that I wrote recently. And I think of it as like a soundtrack to a romantic comedy kind of a song, maybe. It's kind of like it has that feel to me anyway. But it's about love, and it's called Can You Feel It Too? Oh, you know what? Sorry. I don't want that. Sorry. Hit me like a bolt of lightning. First time I laid eyes on you, a smile like no other. I found something pure and true. Can you feel it too? Can you feel it too? Standing on the edge of the world, holding your hand in mine, soaring up over the clouds. When did life get so fine? Oh yeah. Can you feel it too? Can you feel it too? I'm filled with a sense of pride with you standing by my side. For me there's only you, 'cause no one else will do. I've known it from the start. You've stolen my heart. Can you feel it too? Can you feel it too? Tell me, can you feel it too? It hit me like a bolt of lightning.
Yay!
Woo! Yeah.
Good feel.
Thank you. Very kind. Thank you.
Well there, Brian. Thanks for being on our show today.
Yeah, well, thank you,
Um,
Daphne. Pleasure.
you are like our pop guy, I think. You wrote like two classic pop love songs for us. That's what, I could hear them on radio with the band, and just
Yeah, well, and my influences, I think I said this last time, or, Tom Petty, the Beatles, the Eagles, so that's kind of, and I did play in a classic rock band for a number of years. I started playing music late in life. I didn't even get my first guitar till I was 45 years old.
oh
Never
my
sang, never
gosh.
played. And then once I finally got into it, it just kind of took off.
Wait, so okay, so a person is just living all their life, they're not playing any music, they're 45 years old, and suddenly, wait, is this like a midlife crisis kind of
No,
a
I
thing?
was always wanted to, but I just wasn't encouraged, and other things kind of. When I was young, I always felt like I want to. In fact, I used to have dreams, like long before I ever played the guitar. I'd be dreaming that I could play the guitar, and I was like, wow, I really can play the guitar. And then I would wake up and I realized I couldn't. So it was always a calling.
Wow. Have you ever heard of the record Sparky and the Magic Piano?
No.
Okay, that's a record for children from when I was a child, and S- Sparky was taking piano lessons, but he wasn't very good. And then this piano was magical, and he would just put his fingers on it and it would play anything he wanted. And he went to Carnegie Hall, but then one day the piano stopped playing and he was in the middle of a concert at Carnegie Hall, and then he woke up from his dream. So that
No, that's
reminds
kind of
me.
yeah, that's very
But
similar.
it's the opposite. Yeah. So you always have wanted to. So you are a good person to ask. Like, what would your advice be to someone who's younger than you, not necessarily your younger self, but somebody who, wants to start playing music or has started playing music? What would you tell them to do?
I would tell them that they shouldn't listen to other people and they should just follow their own, intuition. And whether that's just to play open mics or just to have fun around the house, whatever it is, or to, beyond that, it wouldn't matter. If you're getting enjoyment out of it and it's something that, I believe for some of like everybody on this Zoom call, it's probably a way of life. We pick up our instrument probably every day. We wake up and like Dave said, we wake up not was it Cowboy Bob.
Cowboy Bob.
We wake up in the middle. I've had that same thing happen to me. Wake up in the middle of a night of sleeping and have an idea for a song pop into my head. So yeah, I would tell them that if it's something that they feel they want to do, then don't let anybody talk you out of it.
So yes, so you have overcome whatever it was, and now you're giving yourself permission to, to live that for yourself, huh?
I would
Regardless.
say that's true, yes.
Wow. And you played here 3 days after heart surgery?
I had something called TAVR, which is a very
Wow.
new kind of non-invasive. I was born with I didn't find out till Father's Day last year, but I was on a jog and I passed out. I was born with a heart defect, and so I didn't have a valve. I have two valves in my aorta instead of three like everybody else. So they actually went in through my groin. I was brought in on a Thursday, had surgery at noon, an hour and a half surgery. They put the new valve in, and then I was released the next day. It was
And then
crazy.
you played on Open Mic America
And I
on
played on
that Sunday?
Sunday. I played on Sunday, yeah.
Oh,
I
wow.
did.
Wow.
I was pretty tired though, but I did get through it.
My goodness. So, yeah, is it Zoom reversing your picture, or do you play
I'm
left-handed?
left-handed, yeah.
Okay, so your guitar
Hmm.
is reverse. And that's just how you learned? Just
Yeah, I'm
that?
left-handed. I couldn't, I always wanted to be,
Mhm.
felt like that was the natural way. People did try to encourage me to change when I first started, but I didn't want to.
Mm-hmm. Do you
Mm.
write a lot? Are you
I
prolific in
do,
your
I
writing? Is
do, I do, I do. I do. I'm always working on new songs. Yeah.
there a
I
project you're working on now?
um I would say no. Just I've been going to open mics pretty regularly. I play at
Mhm.
least probably a couple nights a week. And I'm always I spend time every day with my guitar and writing and playing and even just perfecting covers and playing a lot of piano songs on guitar to improve my playing. So improve my you know everything. But yeah, it all seems to help toward telling stories. I think it was Stuart who said that the inspiration comes sometimes, but you don't get the output right away. Sometimes it takes a little while. So getting out, meeting other songwriters and singers and stuff is good for me. And I love listening to music too.
Mhm.
So and I always find that to be one of the best inspirations for coming up with new ideas too.
Well, may you come up with many more and come back to us.
Well,
Thank
thank
you
you, Daphne.
so much.
Thank you.
And Laura, the show is yours.
Thank you, Daphna. And thank you for those amazing songs, Brian. They were very enjoyable. And we're just going to continue on with the hits on the show with our next performer, the Elder Singer, aka Steve Anderson from Alameda, California. And he wanted to shout out a couple different open mics that are in that area. We've got Gilbert Brewing in Berkeley, Front Porch in Lafayette, and Yetwa in San Rafael. So if any of those sound like they're nearby you, go ahead and check them out. But for now, the Elder Singer, the floor is yours.
The floor is mine, the whole thing. Wow, this is exciting. I've already unmuted myself, and there's a sign that says I still have to do it, so okay. I think we're good to go. So I have this thing, I've most of my life has been trying to aim the camera. Yeah, that's how I spend my time. Most of my life has been in an urban situation, and there's things about living and working in the city that wear on me. When I was a kid, my dad used to drag me out into the woods where he could shoot critters and things, and I always thought that was an imposition on my desire to hang out with my hooligan friends. But as I got older, I realized that getting out into the country was something I really kind of needed. Uh, and I always thought of it as rustication, just getting away from the city and away from man-made noises and man-made things. The Japanese have a name for it. They call it forest bathing, which I think is a kind of delightful way to describe it. But anyway, I wound up a while back writing this about that. No matter what the project is, well, it should be going faster. You're happy they employ you, but they're never kindly masters. Work a day and never play is a stressful way to go. One really needs to get away and learn to take it slow. Always trying to please your masters, always trying to impress. Peace of mind's elusive when you're under all that stress. You walk into your cubicle thinking that's how you'll survive, unaware you're being exploited, unaware you'll never thrive. And the road out of town keeps getting longer, and the need to go that route keeps getting stronger and stronger. Yeah, I know the words to this song. City life is filled with strife, it wears upon your soul. Finding time to get away from it is a life-sustaining goal. Trees only whisper, you'll never find one rude. Meadows are inviting, they're devoid of attitude. Wind and rain remind us of how struggles can be pure, and there's joy in the hardships nature asks you to endure. And the road out of town keeps getting longer, and the need to go that route keeps getting stronger and stronger. City life is filled with strife, it wears up on your soul. Finding time to spend away from it is a life-sustaining goal. When it's time to cook your dinner, you gotta build a fire. Your endurance may be tested, but your mind will never tire. You feel a whole lot better 'cause you're breathing country air, and you'll sleep like you haven't since you lost your teddy bear. And the road out of town keeps getting longer, and the need to go that route keeps getting stronger and stronger. City life's filled with strife, it wears upon your soul. Finding time to spend away from it is a life-sustaining goal.
So true, so true.
So, a couple, 3 weeks ago, I started to write a song, and it didn't go where I wanted it to go, so it kind of took a left turn and got into something. And I blame it all on a visit home leave from the Navy back in 1962. I stopped over at a friend's house who had relatives in Kentucky. This was in a suburb of Milwaukee where I grew up. But he had relatives in Kentucky, and he came back with a mason jar filled with moonshine. And this was they called it whiskey, but it looked like gin. It was crystal clear. It was like 140 proof, and it was aged, I think, 2 weeks. It's not like it ever went into a barrel. And I think that that had a lasting effect on me. And somehow or another, I the song that I started to write that didn't work went off in this direction, which is kind of related to that glass of the jar of whiskey, if you call it that. So anyway, this is what I wound up coming up with. I got whiskey in a jar, $20 in the bank. I'm really having senior moments this morning. Don't know what it is.
Well, you come by elder singer, honestly, huh?
Yeah, senility, senectitude, all that stuff is catching up with me, and I'm reluctant. They say if you think you have a memory problem, you don't. But hello. Okay, so $20 in the bank, 41 Ford, and I just filled up the tank. The still is working fine. Products hidden well, headed down the road to see what I could sell. Sheriff's gonna chase me ain't no cause to be afraid. He says he's gonna bust me, but he'll settle for a trade. Mountain country living is a world beyond compare. Life ain't always easy, but the joy outweighs the care. Family's doing well, and Joshua's raising hell. Thinks she's got a secret, but Ellie Mae's begun to swell. Her daddy's on the porch now, the shotgun's just for show. He knows we'll take her in, no chance in hell we'd tell her no. Preacher comes in April to do what must be done. Their issue will be legal, and he'll sanctify their fun. Mountain country living is a world beyond compare. Life ain't always easy, but the joy outweighs the care. We trade our liquor for fixins. Took a lot to get the cow. Working on a mule, and we'd like to find a plow. Wake up in the morning, the rooster says hello. Another magic day, nowhere else we'd care to go.
Well, I am proud to call this performer one of my friends, even though I don't think we've ever met except maybe once at a picnic in San Jose. Were you at that picnic?
No.
No, so never, only online, and yet you've been on Open Mic America a lot and other open mics that are virtual. So I think I know you.
You know, I always forget the words, so it's...
Oh, that's okay. You know what? The song is just as charming, even though you forget the words. And just for the record, a little birdie told us that people out in YouTube land were just waiting to hear somebody named the Elder Singer.
Oh, wow. I'm
Yes.
sorry I've disappointed them.
No, that was great. So I know I've interviewed you before, but I'm sure there's more things we can glean. And besides, not everybody has heard your story, even though I have. So anyway, first of all, your songs. I think they were both songs about not being in the city.
Yes. Yeah.
Kind of in two different
I'm stuck
ways.
in the city, but, I got to get away.
Yeah. Now, did you grow up in an urban area or in the mountain where the whiskey is?
A lily white suburb of Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Well, so you were not in the mountain with all that moonshine, and you weren't in the middle of a city either.
No. But I've, I think I've told you, I've traveled around the country. I've been in all 49 states on a Harley and talked to all kinds of crazy people. And also, at one point in my life, I lived for about a year and a half, hand to mouth, trying to be a musician back in the 60s. And I wasn't really good enough to to do well at it, but I got a lot of free drinks and I managed to get by. It was,
Maybe you had higher living standards than would work. Maybe you were very good at it, but you had more demands, right?
Yeah, I think if anyone tried that today with the skill level I was at, they'd be homeless. Uh,
Oh gosh.
Easier back then.
Yeah. So, I love the way you gave such sage advice in your first song. That was very sincere. And so you came by the name Elder Singer really honestly with that one, with the sage advice about what's really important. And how do you go out in nature now a lot? Does that inspire you for your songs or?
Yeah, I need to do it every now and again. I need to get out away from, you know, man-made sounds in particular, and yeah, and of course I go there on a Harley, so I destroy any piece that might have happened before I got there. But
So where do you go? Do you just go and sit somewhere and then songs come to you? How does that work?
well, I'm very close to the redwood forests here in Northern California,
Yes.
and they work wonderfully for me. But I have to go a little farther because when I first came to California, I went to Muir Woods, and there were like 6 people there, and it was magical. And I went there, you know, 10 years ago, and it was like screaming children and tourists with cameras shouting back and forth at each other, and there were busloads of people. It was just, so I have to go farther now, but I do it when I can.
And do you come back with a song?
No, no,
Do you ever write in your head while you're riding your motorcycle?
no, no, that hasn't happened.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
That'd probably be dangerous, right?
yeah, probably would.
But I could just kind of see it, you've just been in the nature and you're zooming along and there's this motorcycle noise, which is like white, and
Well, the songs do come to me, in a similar way. It's just like out of the blue. It's not, some people, and I've heard them talk about it this evening. They talk about, well, I'm going to sit down at a particular time and I'm going to concentrate on writing a song. Well, I have never in my life done that. It's just,
Mhm.
I'll be, you know, making dinner or doing one of my other hobbies, and all of a sudden I'll think of, oh, I should write something about that. And then once every third or fourth time that happens, I remember it and actually start writing a song. And yeah, that happened just before I got here this evening. So
Mhm.
I have a new song to write, which I'll go to work on after we're done here.
Ooh, that's great. So now before I let you go, do you have any advice for beginning musicians slash songwriters?
Any advice? Oh, goodness gracious. Uh, Listen to as much music as you can, uh, which may or may not be your first choice. Um,
Mm.
I listen to, a lot of classical music. I listen to a lot of various and sundry ethnic music. I listen to old music. Uh, I listen to lots of different things, and I think that all comes together uh, in a way that allows me to present songs in a more interesting way than the simple words would do.
Mhm. That's very cool advice.
That's
You said that you listened to opera as a child. Your mother used to play
yes.
opera, right?
Yeah,
So even opera, yes.
I'd have series tickets to the
Mhm.
opera in San Francisco at one point
Mhm.
in my life, and that got to be
Mhm.
too cumbersome to continue. But
Mhm.
yeah, no, I listened to polkas when I was a kid, and growing up in Milwaukee, and I still do. Uh, I love jug band music. I love New Orleans jazz. Uh,
Mhm.
I love stuff out of the 30s and the 40s. It just and classical music. Absolutely love Bach organ music. I heard Captain Nemo on the Nautilus playing. This. Turned out I didn't know it at the time. I thought it was music written specifically for the movie. Turns out it's Johann Sebastian Bach's Toccata and Fugue in D minor, And I discovered that years later, and all of a sudden, I mean, I've got a collection of old vinyl records that's all Bach organ music.
Wow. Well, that's interesting advice. Just be inspired by everything. Well, we're inspired by you, Steve Eldersinger. And now we're going to let Laura take us home with our next performer.
Thank you, Daphne. And thank you, Elder Singer. That is quite the moniker that you've got. I like it. And I've got sad news, everybody. It's time for our last performer of the evening. But I've also got good news, everybody. We get to hear John Gary from Stowe, Ohio, play us out. And he hosts a monthly open mic and a showcase at the Dragonfly Winery in Canal Fulton, Ohio. And that's on the second Thursday of every month. But for now, we've got John Gary. Are you ready?
I am, Laura.
All right, it's all you.
I'm glad you changed that from sadness to gladness. It would be unfortunate if it was sad that I was the last performer. All right. As a young teen, I read a lot of science fiction, and I came to recognize in hindsight that science fiction novels were really romance novels for young teens. And as part of that, so this is a song that kind of came out of one of those novels I read a long time ago. And in it, it's a character who's named Star in the particular novel. And she fell in love with the human component of the novel. She was the alien, so she had to eventually leave. So it's a love song between an alien and a human. It's called My Only Star. I'll never forget you. No, never. What are you to me? The sweetest girl there could be. When I am with you, there's nothing I couldn't do. So when you are here, I know I have nothing to fear. And when you're away, I miss you more every day. And I love you for what you are. To me, you are my only star. No one is like you, near or far. And I love you for what you are. So what are you to me? The kindest girl I'll ever see. What am I with you? I am complete and full. So when you are here, I know I don't have to be scared. But when you're away, part of me doesn't stay. And I love you for what you are. To me, you are my only star. No one is like you, near or far. And I love you for what you are.
Great.
Thank you. So for my second song, the story I have with this one is that as a young kid, my brother and I used to put on these mime concerts for our sisters, and we shared a bedroom, and we'd pull one of the beds out from the wall and stand behind it, and it became our make-believe stage. And we'd most often mime to Beatles records because that's what we had. And my brother got really good at the broom, and I got really good at the mop stick. But where I'm going with this is the Beatles have been an early influencer to the songs that I write and my style. So this is a song called Before I Fall Asleep. And I tried to write it in kind of that middle Beatles period style, right around Revolver or Rubber Soul, Yesterday and Today. Again, called Before I Fall Asleep. I think about you before I fall asleep. It seems my dreams are all about you. I greet the morning, smile on my face. The dawn will sing my song to you. It pains me when I know I can't be with you. I know you can understand what I say. So when I start to dream about you, I need to be with you every day. So when the night finally comes around, we'll meet on streets lit by the moon. Talk and love as only we can. You know my soul I give to you. It pains me when I know I can't be with you. I know you can understand what I say. So when I start to dream about you, I need to be with you every day. So it pains me when I know I can't be with you. I know you can understand what I say. So when I start to dream about you, I need to be with you every day.
Wow.
I didn't want to stop dancing to that one. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, you've been here with us many times and you never disappoint. And you always treat us to love songs.
Yes, I write a lot of songs about relationships.
Yeah, so I was very curious about this one between an alien and a human, My Only Star. And I had a few things that I was wondering about. Is first of all, Was the girl the alien or was she the human?
The girl was the alien.
The girl was the alien. And then
Yes.
really this song could have been a love song just between two humans if you just take it the way it is. So that was kind of interesting. The what inspired it, but what you could actually hear in it, you know.
Yes. Yes. But
Oh.
it gets back to that whole piece that if you really look at hindsight, science fiction novels are romance novels in many cases.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how you started that. So, and your second song, you said you decided to write it in a certain style. Is that how you always work? You decide what style you're going to write in, and then poof, you're able just to write in that style?
You know, I usually write my words first, and the words then suggest to me the melody structure and the chordal structure that comes out of that. So occasionally there is that I will decide, yes, I'm going to write a bluesy or a bluegrass or any of those kinds of jazzy kind of things. Again, just in what chords I'm using, but usually it's the words first.
Mm-hmm. So you just write the lyrics and then the music flows from them because they have a melody on their own,
And a
right?
cadence on their own, right? Yes.
Yes, yes. That's really cool. So you talked about singing and having plays with your sister. The mop and the broom and moving the beds, and that's the stage. So clearly you started engaging in music and performing very early. But when did you first perform in public though? And what was that like?
Well, I first picked up the guitar at the age of 12. That's when I first started playing. I was in a band by the age of 14, so about 14.
Mm-hmm. And what, it just been continuous since then?
Well, no, I actually did an interview Friday night where we covered kind of these questions. I played music from the time I was 14 up through college until about the age of 23, 24,
Mm-hmm.
where got married, moved away, had kids, and for the longest time didn't play outside of the basement. And it wasn't until about 5 or 6 years ago that I actually started coming out and performing in public again.
Mm-hmm. And how did you start that? Where did you
I
play?
recorded a release. We're going to call it a release. It was a CD, but that's the word now. It's a release.
It's a release. Oh, thank you for telling me because I keep saying CD and I know it's not right. Yeah.
I recorded a release that I had worked on from about 2015 until 2017. I spent a couple of years of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And after putting it together, decided, there's got to be places to go play about it. And I found some open mics around here and just started playing in 2018. And
Wow. So it's the value of the open mics again, huh?
Yes.
Now, are you working on something now?
I just this past Saturday released my 7th release.
Wow.
Full-length release. That first song is on that particular release. It's called With Each Day. And you can find it on my Bandcamp site. I'm not putting it on the streaming services for a month or so.
So you can go to your Bandcamp site and find it.
Yes.
So people can go to the link on our YouTube or website to your website, and then they can link or wherever you link to.
They can link from my website, garsongsmusic.com, to my Bandcamp site. Yes.
Well, congratulations for having finished that.
Thank you.
7 releases, my goodness. Well, you've been with us so much, and it's always a pleasure, and we hope to see you here again. And thank you for taking us home with your love songs, and I'm going to send it back to Laura.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, John, and thank you, Daphna, and thank you to all of our performers who have performed tonight. One more big hand for everybody. Thank you, Betsy. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Kyla. Thank you, Stuart. Thank you, Margery. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Steve. And thank you, John. And of course, none of this would be possible without our fantastic crew. Thank you, Daphna, for handling all of the interviews. And thank you, Capo Dave, for handling all of the tech work behind the scenes. And of course, thank you for being the founder of Open Mic America. It is such a joy to be able to get together first 3 Sundays of the month and hear these amazing singer-songwriters. And of course, thank you to everyone who is watching on YouTube. Remember, if you want to find more about any of our performers tonight, we have links in the description of the live stream. We also have links on the website. That's openmicamerica.com that you can find links to. You can see not only how to spell their names if you want to search them, but they have links to their websites, and you can find the archives for all of our past shows. And if you did have a good time tonight, please don't keep it a secret. Spread the word. We're on social media. You can talk to people with word of mouth. Or if you go to our website, openmicamerica.com, and go to the green room section, you can even print out posters with our beautiful logo. You can get a t-shirt like the one that Capo Dave is wearing, so you can spread the word to everybody out. But of course, the most important thing is that if you feel at all inspired tonight, please check out your local open mics, the brick and mortar places that we are here to showcase the amazing performers, and you can see them at the open mics as well as other performers who are there. We'll link all of the ones that were mentioned tonight on our website, and we'll have even more listed under the local open mics tab on our website, again, openmicamerica.com, so you can find your own place to hear the amazing performers in your area. But as I said, we are here online the first 3 Sundays of every month, which means our next performance date will be on February 4th. So please stay tuned for the next full lineup. And again, that will be on, you guessed it, the website, openmicamerica.com. But for now, we're all going to wave goodbye. Thank you so much for seeing us, and we'll see you next time. Good night, America.
If you meet me at the corner of Russell and Albina, just about a block from Mississippi Avenue, I'll take you to a house where they hang carpets on the wall. And if we go there on a Sunday, there's a song I'll take you through.